My name's Barry Anderson, and I'm the producer, songwriter, guitar player, and singer for the metal band Barren Ruins. And this is video number 14, based on how to earn national and international ranking and win international awards. Now tonight's video is going to be about my system and my approach on writing lyrics. We all know how important lyrics are to a song. Now there are a lot of hard rock and metal bands that the lyrics are not out front and you can't hear them clearly, but we're one of those hard rock metal bands where you can hear the lyrics perfectly clear. I think that is one of the major reasons we've had such a good run on Reverb Nation and won some awards, because you can clearly hear what the song is about and what the story in the song is about. Now there's no way you're going to tell a real story in 3 verses, a chorus, and a bridge. But we're going to go into the system of how I paint a picture using words and how each portion of the line tells its own story but interconnects with all the other lines to create a verse, a chorus, and a bridge. Now let's get started. Now tonight we're going to use the song Be Myself Again as an example of how I write lyrics. And we're going to show you basically just some approaches that I use. Believe it or not, we have some normal friends. We live in a small town here in Wisconsin. And so we're going to show you basically how I got this idea, sitting around the campfire with a bunch of friends, just going into all the crazy things that we've done. And some of these guys and their families and stuff were involved in some of the crazier things we did when we were a little younger. Well, maybe a lot younger. Now, I'm using some video that we took a few years ago with some friends of ours at a lake called Lake Dodge. And we just get together and talk about old times and just have a good time, really. And my reason for using this video is simply the best lyrics are really based on real life experiences. That's the easiest way for the listener to really connect, because you can actually put yourself into the lyrics and they can put themselves into your lyrics. But there is a system of how to do that, and we're going to go into that tonight. The first thing about lyrics is that poems are not lyrics. The biggest mistake most musicians and people who want to write lyrics is that they think they can use the same tactics and the same techniques as they used or they learned in school writing poetry. They're similar, but poetry can be a few words or as many words as you want. Where in a lyric, you're tied basically to 3 or 4 verses, a chorus, and a bridge. And you can't tell the story in 3 or 4 verses, a chorus, and a bridge. Now, there's a lot of different approaches to writing lyrics, and lyrics was the hardest thing for me, and it still is when it comes to writing songs. I write my best lyrics when I have an idea, and I'm an early riser. I like to get up early, about 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when people in Asia and Europe are either about to go to bed or about to get, just getting up in the morning. And we have a fairly good sized fan base in Asia and in Europe. And so I'm answering messages and I'm doing some Reverb Nation criteria and things that I need to get done early in the morning. So I'll get up and do that, grab a piece of paper and a pencil, and I'll sit down and go basically half asleep. I'm in between a conscious and a subconscious state. So if I'm having problems writing lyrics and it's not coming, that's the system I use to break through that barrier or that wall. There's lots of other systems out there, but that's the one that works the best for me. Now we're going to start with the first verse of our song, Be Myself Again. And Be Myself Again is a song about recapturing those special moments in our lives. And I like to use the first verse to set up the chorus or the hook. And how I do that is basically tying the phrases together to set that hook up. So let's start the process here and what I do. Now the first line of Be Myself Again is, me and the boys are reminiscing about all the good times and the things we're missing. Now there's actually an entire story in that first line. Me and the boys are reminiscing about all the good times and the things we're missing. That tells an entire story. But it leads you to the next line. Me and the boys were reminiscing about all the good times and the things we were missing, sitting around the campfire with Bob and the crew at the beautiful Lake Dodge. Now those are two separate stories, but they're all tied together. So let's start at the first line again. Me and the boys were reminiscing about all the good times and the things we were missing, sitting around the campfire with Bob and the crew at the beautiful Lake Dodge. And yes, oh yes, those adventures are true. And it's hard to believe that we lived through those crazy, crazy days at that Park Island Lodge. Now, if you break that down, there's at least 3 and maybe 4 separate stories within the first verse. The reason I do that is, number one, I'm creating an image with words. And when you're doing that, each line is like a stroke of a paintbrush or a stroke of a pencil where you're sketching the basic picture. It also makes it more interesting and more engaging for the listener because they're getting into that lyric. You're bringing them into that picture because they can all relate to the same thing. We've all done that same thing. We've all sat around a campfire by a lake reminiscing about all the good things we did and all those fun times we had when we were younger. And maybe some of the crazy things we did. And that's basically my approach of how I like to set up the chorus. Now the chorus, or what is normally called the hook, or the title of the song, is really what the description of the song is. So all the verses and all the individual storylines within the verses all have to connect to that hook or that chorus. And in this case, the chorus is Be Myself Again. And the chorus goes, well, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be myself again. That's right, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be myself. I'll tell you when, where, how, and why. I'm gonna be myself. Come do or die. Now the bridge goes, are you ready to be yourself again? Well, get off your seat and on your feet and rock. Now, hopefully this gives you a basic idea of my approach and how I write lyrics. Now, we're just skating the very edges here, because if I went into full detail, this video would be 5 hours long and you'd all be bored to death. But let me give you a couple of really quick tips that I learned when I was going to a songwriters university online called Song.U out of Nashville. They suggested that if you want to learn how to use words and create a picture, listen to commercials on the radio. Now, those commercials are anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds long. Now, they have to get their message across, and they have to describe the product that they're trying to market using words. So they're creating an image using words, just like we do writing lyrics. Also, if you're watching television and the commercial comes on, just either turn your back or close your eyes and just listen to how they describe your favorite car or your favorite breakfast cereal. They'll use very few words, but they'll be very descriptive and very well placed. Just exactly what we're trying to do when we're writing lyrics. Hopefully these tips help, and hopefully this video helped. And hey, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like. And we love the comments too, positive or negative. We love to hear from you.